Hello, my happy band. As promised, here I am. I told you I'll be reaching you very, very soon with a story from a feeling heart. तो दोस्तों, जैसा आपसे बोला था, I have received a very, very beautiful story. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि दोस्ती यारी एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमेशा से ही रगों में एक अलग सा रोमांच भरती है. साथ और अपने जैसी सोच वालों का साथ बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. बचपन में जब स्कूल जाते हैं तो रोते चिल्लाते पहुंचते हैं, लेकिन जब वहाँ पे कोई अपना सा लगता है तो ऐसा लगता है कि शायद सफ़र कट जाएगा. और वही एक सोच होती है सफ़र कटने वाली, जो इन जान से भी प्यारे दोस्तों के साथ. लेकिन जैसे हम लोग आगे चलते हैं, वी मूव ऑन, कहीं ना कहीं वो पकड़ ढीली पड़ जाए. नहीं, नो, वी कैन नॉट ब्लेम सर्कमस्टांसेस, नॉट ऑलवेज. बट वो जब छूटती है ना, उन्हें तकलीफ होती है, बट उसको पकड़ने की शायद उतनी जिद नहीं होती कि उसको पकड़ पाए, और धीरे धीरे वो कहीं पीछे रह जाती है. जिंदगी की उलझनों में हम लोग चलते रहते हैं, भागते रहते हैं, दौड़ते रहते हैं, लेकिन जब कभी पीछे मुड़कर देखो और वो चेहरे नजर आते हैं ना, कसम से आई फील दैट्स द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल फीलिंग, बिकॉज दे नो यू फॉर हु यू आर. आपने जब तक छल सीखा, कपट सीखा, आप वो बने जो आप हैं. आई मार्क माई वर्ड्स, आप वो बने जो आप हैं. लेकिन वो आपको तब से जानते हैं जब आप वो थे जो आप थे. So this beautiful story that I have received focuses somewhere on those lines. And I'm very sure many of us will be able to connect to this. Yes, and for all of you who are still wondering where to reach me with your stories, I shall be sharing with you the email ID in the description box. So please go through it to send me all your work, all your stories. And again, I begin with the reading on the go on Monikalytical, and I hope that you're going to like it. So sit back, put on your headphones wherever you are, and just close your eyes and let the story drift you to a place where you belonged at some point of time. All right? Never, ever, never, Soph. How can you even think we'll not be connected? We are meant to be together, yeah? You, me, and Sarah. What says Sarah? Doesn't Soph sound absurd when she says life is queer and let's see if we can stay connected? All crap. The words and the memory of that evening still sounded fresh in Sandra's ears. She could even hear the heavy breathing of all three of them. The girl gang. The three musketeers, they used to call themselves. Having started on their formal school education together, the three had clicked on the very first day at school. And from then on, they would increasingly find the purpose of one in the life of the others. They fitted perfectly well until, that is. Who says life follows a set, smooth pattern? We are all here to learn lessons, some easy, some challenging. Just when you start getting the hang of the situation, out comes a gust of a certain circumstance and ruffles you up. A sudden jolt as the wagon swerved to avoid a nasty pothole. It brought back Sandra to the present from her reverie. 30 years. 30 long years since the gang got together. We are inseparable, they had said. Life had made them eat their words. Sarah, the same, as they called her, had been the reason for them coming together today. She had culled out a place for herself in the editorial of a popular weekly and was a name to reckon. She was doing an article on relationships as life definers. That is when she decided to dust off a few unattended pages from the chapters of her own life. It didn't take her long to send a quick messenger. Hi girl gang, long time, need to connect, next week, Riverside Cafe, Saturday, 5 o'clock, be there. Funny how she had idled away 30 years to write just that. The acknowledgement of the message seemed to jump out of her Apple screen, as if the wait was too much already. The week went by as if in a trance. All three were physically present in their lives, carrying out the activities with the minds of 20-somethings. It somehow made the journey worthwhile and surprisingly felt less of a tedium to shoulder. Sandra had to be the sacrificial lamb, looking after the welfare of her younger siblings after her mother lost the battle to a malignant tumor. And her father? He had been too much of a man to look after kids and household. Her focus had shifted and she found a new purpose. She lived a motherhood she had not really experienced and did a pretty good job of it too, in seeing both her sisters graduate and settle well in life. The spark had gone, but the light still brightened up the dull days as she received happy news from them, and life moved on. There wasn't anything much left in it. Nothing than to just move on. And here she was today, almost blinded by the radiance of those happy memories that now threatened to break the wall around her. How would she ever move on now? Now, after seeing her reflection for who she had been once? Soph brushed her shoulder-length hair, setting them to cover those ruthless grey that surfaced if she didn't pin them down. She had been proud of her crowning glory. In fact, that was the only glory she flaunted when she was with her girl gang. A timid creature of the circumstances. Sarah and Sandra had felt compelled to protect her, even from an excited flutter of a butterfly. Soph's doe eyes seemed perpetually teary, and the tip of her nose putting Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer to shame. Oh, how vulnerable she was. How would she ever live without her support systems, Sandra and Sarah? And yet, here she was. Not one, not two, but 30 long years of singular handling of the potholed living. She had managed. She dabbed a little powder to reduce the color on the tip of her nose, and a smile escaped her lips. Is this me? She mused. When was the last that I wore this smile? She didn't need any answers. She had excavated the mummified reserves of her courage to seek permission from her equally reserved husband to travel to her hometown for the weekend. It wasn't usual for her to be asking him for anything, so he just nodded his consent. He wasn't the prying kinds. Their families had been introduced by a mutual friend, and for Soph and Nakuda to tie the nuptials seemed to follow some rule of nature. There was no reason for it not to be, and it didn't come down as an announcement of rain or thunder, but a quiet drizzle in the middle of the night that is observed in the morning and is accepted without an iota of resistance. Was it coincidence? The time of the year? Or some mystic force was conspiring? The chosen day had been as if a transporting back into the time. Was time travel no longer a scientific fiction? Had they been picked up as experimental specimens without their knowledge and exposed to this time travel phenomena? Whatever the case may be, the resulting thrill had wiped away all the creases and the unwelcome folds of life. Ah, what joy to have outlived the surmounting ordeals. The three musketeers were now the power generators. Adherence to time had always been their achievement, and there they were, all three, at various distances from the entrance. Riverside Cafe, filling their lungs to energize for the deafening war cry like meeting ritual that had come to be associated with them in those furlong days of free spirit. Contrary to all preparation, all three stood rooted, trembling with excitement, tears rolling down, washing the camouflage of age-defying makeup, and as if following some orchestricized symphony, crooned each other's names. Soph, Sarah, Sandra. For the first time in decades, their hearts sounded louder than their words. The words that now came out in spasms of hysterical sobs. The eyes showing shades of regret, joy, accusations, and relief. They hugged, loving the feel of those familiar hands around them. And in that moment, they realized the strength of their connection. It hadn't been dimmed in spite of everything. Some things, after all, were meant to be forever. They were meant to be forever. You, in the fell clutch of circumstances, the faith and selfless love. The friendship had survived, reaffirming the endurance that such a frail emotion is well capable of. Wasn't she crazy in saying that we might not be able to come together? Said Sandra in a quivering voice. And all three broke down with relief to have lived this moment that rejuvenated them for the onward journey. But now with a more inclusive outlook. Sacrifice in relations, for relations, had been redefined in that point of time. And they had #bonds run deeper, decades deep. Phew. I don't know about you, friends, but I am moved. It's a beautiful story. Thanks for sending it to me. And I have decided that I'm going to text my bum chums, my munchkins, and tell them that I miss them. About time too. What are you guys thinking? Come on, lazy bums, get up. Say a hi to your friends. I'm sure they'll be excited. तुम्हारी एक हेलो का मैसेज शायद किसी को बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी चाहिए इस टाइम. उठो. I mean, after you've listened to the story and said a goodbye to me, yes, that's the next big task you'll be doing. Thank you so much for sending me the story, and yes, my happy band. This was a heavy one to start with, but yes, I'm happy that somebody had poured out the feeling so beautifully, and I'm very sure the friends who would be staying far off, listening and connecting to the story would understand that yes, the friend does miss them. She does love them now and forever. Yes, bonds are deep, very, very deep. It's for no reason that they are called soulmates. Friends are forever. All right, ciao, bye, see you, take care, stay happy, and I'll come with another story next Saturday. Saturdays are what you're going to be looking forward to. Well, after a busy week and a week that has drawn all your energy, I think you need to be infused with the kind of energy that you get from my stories. Itna to banta hai to step into a weekend on a happy note. Please log into Monikalytical. Love you all. Stay happy, stay connected. Until next time. Bye-bye.